노래인 퍼슬러시도 차례로 올라가서 커지는 스케일 가리는 거 없어 싹 다 토핑해서 씹어먹어 땡땡땡 피자 딱 켜놓은 젤로 yeah I know 숨길래도 티가 나지 뱃새들의 전쟁 속에서 온 새는 귀찮네 지겨도 미로 효과 모두 예외는 없어 한번 깍깍하면 도미노 한번 깍깍하면 도미노 I don't play 웃음기 싹 빼고 그게 일으켜 sensation like domino.
Dang! Stray Kids, yeah. Dominoes like this. This song does not fit the vibe for what this video is about to be. Hey. Ho, ho, ho. Welcome to the Zella channel! I promise you I can sing like a little bit. Today we're gonna react to some horror stories. I like watching horror stories. That's just been a hobby of mine since I was 12. So I'm going to share that with you guys, and we're going to watch a channel that I've been getting into this past year. MJVAnimations. They're really good. Really good. I like play their video and then I just fall asleep. Today, we're going to watch 3 true scary Christmas horror stories. And I know it's, the 30th right now? Probably when this is out, it will be New Year's. It's not really gonna be New Year's season, but hey, it's winter season. It's okay. You know, I got my blanket, and I'm gonna have all the lights off. Hopefully it looks good with all the lights off. Yo, here we go. I never imagined doing this. Yo, this is crazy. Let's go, I guess. Okay, 3 true scary Christmas horror stories animated, go.
I'd been on dating apps for 3 months when I matched with Evan that December. My ex had moved out in September, and I was tired of sitting alone in our apartment every night. Evan's profile said that he was a software engineer, and he had a husky named Rhodey. He said he liked hiking and made pasta from scratch occasionally. He was a brown-haired guy with a charming smile.
A brunette.
We messaged for 2 weeks before he asked if I wanted help decorating for Christmas. It seemed sweet. Therefore, I said yes. We set it up for Saturday evening. He'd bring the decorations and had ordered pizza. I gave him my address and asked him to come by around 7. That day, I actually cleaned up, put on real jeans instead of the scrubs I'd been wearing around the house.
She said,
I opened the door and found this guy who was on my porch, who was not Evan. I mean, he had the same general build, maybe, but he was older and thinner.
No. Who is he?
His face looked wrong, with skin pulled tight over his cheekbones, and his eyes were too wide. He held up a Dollar Tree bag and grinned. I scowled and started closing the door as I told him there must have been a mistake. He laughed and said he'd been traveling for work and lost a bunch of weight from stress. Said I probably remembered him from his old photos, the ones from like 2 years ago, when he still had his dad bod, and apologized. The explanation made sense.
I mean,
people do that on apps all the time,
I guess. Right? Yeah, that's...
And he seemed really embarrassed about it.
Hell no.
I stepped back and let him in.
Girl!
He walked through my apartment real slow, looking at everything. None of it sounded like the Evan I'd been messaging. That guy was charming, witty, and quick with comebacks. This person was jittery and couldn't stop touching things. Then he said something that made my chest tighten. He said the walls in these buildings were so thick, you really can't hear much between apartments. I tried to act normal when...
How we know that? Why would you say that to somebody?
Oh, the walls are so thick, you can't really hear anything.
I mean, nah, but that's for this situation and what we're watching, that's creepy as heck.
I was freaking out. A couple of
Just
minutes
let this man into your
before I told him
house.
I needed to grab the step stool from my bedroom. He said he'd help and started to follow me down the hall, even when I told him I was fine. We reached the bedroom door. I got in and firmly told him to wait outside. Immediately, I locked the door.
Good.
I grabbed my phone and dialed 911.
Yep.
I was trying to whisper to the operator when he knocked. I didn't answer. He paused before he called my name in this sing-song way that made every hair on my body stand up.
He said, like that tone. Zella, it's me. And like, oh no, that's scary as heck. Girl.
In the next 3 seconds, he was trying my doorknob. I realized my door would eventually give in, and the cops wouldn't make it in time. So I jumped from my window,
Oh no, she
landing
barefoot.
barefoot on the cold ground. I could
Run,
still
girl.
hear him screaming and kicking my door. I ran to my neighbor, Mrs. Smith's door. I pounded on the door until she opened it up. She took one look at me and pulled me inside without saying a word. The police showed up maybe 10 minutes later. They went into my apartment with their guns drawn. The man was
No one was
gone.
there. I hate when they like leave, bro, because they know they did wrong.
The kitchen was open. Every drawer was pulled out and dumped. The bathroom medicine cabinet was hanging open. My underwear drawer in the bedroom was raided.
Damn.
It gave me the creeps when I realized this man had stolen a few pairs of my underwear.
Yeah, that's weird.
And on my living room wall, written in something dark and dripping, was a message that read, "Merry Christmas, Leah."
That's not how you spell Leah. Am I slow? My phonics ain't that bad. What is that?
One of them asked if the man had been bleeding when I let him in. I told him I didn't think so.
Didn't look like
They asked if I knew his real name or anything about him that could help identify him. I showed them the dating profile on my phone, but it was already deleted before he showed up.
Dang.
The reports claimed the substance on my wall was human blood. They couldn't tell whose. The DNA didn't match with anything in their system.
What?
They again asked if I'd noticed cuts anywhere on the man. I didn't, which meant the blood came from somewhere else. The case went cold after a month.
Damn.
I moved out 2 weeks later. I couldn't stay there because I knew he had been in my bedroom and gone through my things. That he'd planned the whole thing. It's been a year. I still can't look at Christmas lights without my stomach turning. Can't open dating apps or be alone with anyone I don't know. Sometimes I think about what would have happened if I hadn't locked that bedroom door and
Good thing
gotten
you
out.
did, girl. Yeah.
I feel trapped, knowing he's out there, somewhere, using someone else's photos, getting invited into another apartment. And I wonder if she'll have an escape route.
Yeah, that's a bit weird. That's scary. I imagine you're talking to somebody and then he's like, "Oh, can I pop up and help you with Christmas?" And it's somebody totally different who pops up. That's scary. Yeah, that's just giving me the creeps.
I was 9 years old that Christmas Eve.
Second
It
story.
had been a year since my parents split. It was a nasty divorce. Dad moved to Arizona with his new girlfriend right away, making promises he never kept. He did send child support checks, though, that Mom cashed and spent on other things. Mom worked at a gas station when she bothered to show up. Her boyfriend, Ray, didn't work at all. The heat
He
had been
look a
shut
bit
off
crazy.
for almost a week. I slept in my winter coat most nights. That night, I woke up around 8. Mom was passed out on the living room floor near the coffee table. Ray was in the recliner by the window with a needle still in his arm. I'd stopped trying to wake them up months ago. Christmas break meant no free meals, just whatever I could find at home.
Damn.
I checked the kitchen cabinets and found baking soda, old tea bags, and a can of beans we couldn't open because the can opener got pawned last month, along with a
Damn.
microwave.
Damn, he in tough times. Oh,
Surprise.
no noodles, no nothing.
Inside was sour milk and a half-empty jar of pickles.
You better start
I
eating
stood there in the
those.
dark, watching my breath come out in clouds, when I heard the knock and asked who was there without opening it. A man's voice answered, saying he was Santa Claus.
Is he thinking we
Even
slow?
at 9, I wasn't that stupid.
I hope no kids are watching this because Santa don't have sharp teeth. Santa don't have sharp teeth.
I told him to go away, but he kept insisting on coming in, which freaked me out a bit. When he still didn't budge, I told him about my mom dialing the cops. There was silence for a long time after that. Then he chuckled and asked if I meant the woman passed out on the floor. My stomach dropped. I turned around slowly and noticed our living room window. It faced the parking lot, and we always kept the curtains open.
Why?
There was a man with his face pressed against the glass.
Oh my god.
He was wearing a ripped Santa suit with no fake beard or hat. He had a pale face and a smile that looked unsettling. He had a crowbar in his hand.
He about
and he
to
was
smash
staring
that thing.
directly at my mom. I screamed and ran to her and shook her shoulder hard. She
Wake up,
didn't
Mom!
open her
Wake up!
eyes.
Wake
Glass
up!
shattered somewhere behind me. I watched, horrified, as he climbed through the window,
Oh no.
humming the Christmas jingle.
Oh no.
He slowly crawled towards my mom,
No.
dragging the crowbar behind him.
Help!
It made a sickening noise.
Help!
I heard
Help! I need somebody help! Not just anybody! Please, bro, it's scaring me.
within 15 seconds, the furniture was crashing. Ray was shouting at the guy to back away. He'd promised he'd pay them back. The guy laughed. Suddenly, Mom was screaming too. I could hear the metal clash. Mom's shrill voice suddenly cut through everything. She was screaming my name over and over. Her screams turned into choked gurgles until they stopped. I pressed my hands harder against my ears and squeezed my eyes shut. Loud sirens filled the air, followed by heavy boots that pounded up the stairs. The cops found me in the bathroom. I couldn't move or speak. The officer knelt and asked if I was hurt. He told me not to look when he carried me out, but I looked anyway. Blood was everywhere.
Lord, on
They
Christmas?
had covered Mom and Ray's lifeless bodies lying on the floor with white
Damn,
sheets.
is this based off a true
On
story?
the kitchen counter was a dirty gray sock stuffed
Sometimes
with
they be
candy.
based off a true story.
The police took me to the station and asked questions. I told them everything I could remember. Dad showed up 3 days later. He didn't hug me when we met. He just asked if I was okay, and I nodded, even though I wasn't.
Hug your son.
On the plane, he finally admitted Mom was problematic even before I was born. He said he tried to help, but he couldn't. He said none of this was my fault. I didn't know what to say
Of course
to
it's
that.
not.
His wife was waiting at the airport in Phoenix. She smiled at me and said she was sorry about what happened.
Get your
They
hand
had a
off me,
guest room set up for
stepmom.
me already. The case went cold within months. It was just another tragedy in the file cabinets. I'm 31 now.
Dang.
Dad died 2 years later from a heart attack.
Oh.
His wife and I barely spoke at the funeral. I've got my apartment and my life. I don't celebrate Christmas, and I haven't since I was 9.
Period.
Sometimes I look at the case online. There's not much there except for a couple newspaper
Gobble.
articles
Google? Or gobble me, swallow me, drip down the side of me.
and child survives attack. They don't mention the sock full of candy or the sick Christmas jingle. They never found him.
That's
I don't
scary.
know if he's dead or in prison somewhere,
Imagine.
or if he ever did it again. All I know is what I remember, and I remember everything. Lila and I had rented this cabin we found online for Christmas Eve. It was one of those
Story
rustic
3.
mountain places.
That second one. Oh. Oh. That one was bad. Okay, let's go.
Included a romantic getaway. The drive up took 3 hours. Snow was falling heavily by the time we arrived. The cabin sat in a small clearing surrounded by dense pine forest. We unloaded the car, got the fireplace going, and opened a bottle of wine. By 7, we were settled in
wine out.
and finally started to relax.
Got that one
When
out.
someone knocked on the front door. Lila and I looked at each other. We weren't expecting anyone. Anyway, I opened the door to find
Why
a
would
woman
you-
standing on the porch,
She already
bundled
looking
in a heavy
crazy.
winter.
Look at her. She looking crazy. Don't let these people in.
Her face was pale.
Some of these people got
and
no
her eyes were
sense.
too wide. She introduced herself as a friend of the property owner. She said she lived nearby and wanted to make sure we had everything we needed. I thanked her, said we were all set, and started to close the door. But she stepped closer and asked if she could come in for a minute.
No, thank you.
Something about the way she was looking past me into the cabin made my skin crawl. Right then, Lila appeared behind me. She politely told the woman we were fine, that we appreciated her checking but didn't need anything.
Yeah.
The woman's smile faltered. She stared at Lila for a long moment, then back at me, before she nodded and left. We closed the door and locked it.
Why's she acting weird?
Lila
Did she
said
need
that was
help?
weird. I agreed.
Maybe she needed help.
We tried to shake it off and went back to our wine.
She was acting weird.
But I couldn't forget about the way that woman had looked at us. She hadn't mentioned which direction she'd come from or exactly where she lived. But Lila got over it, so I didn't bring it up. We went to bed around 11. Around midnight, I woke up to Lila gripping my arm so tight her nails dug into my flesh.
I know what's happening.
She was frozen in terror
What?
and trembling. I looked around. The bedroom was dark, except for the moonlight coming through the window. I followed Lila's vision toward the door.
Oh no, she got
where a
in!
dark silhouette stood. I squinted and immediately recognized her as the woman from earlier.
She got in.
She was standing
Hell
in front
no.
of her bed,
Now she looking evil.
holding a big kitchen knife from the drawer downstairs. When our eyes met, she flashed me a smile, and before I could lift a finger, she screamed and lunged at me. Lila screamed while I rolled off the bed just as the knife came down.
Nah, cause she doing too much. Oh, get away from me.
Was shrieking words I couldn't quite make out. Something about the house being hers. She went for Lila
It's
next.
not.
Lila grabbed the bedside lamp and swung it hard, but the woman caught her first. She slashed her arm. Blood started soaking through her sleeve. Lila cried and fell. The woman aimed
Poor
at her head
Lila.
and was about to stab when I grabbed the first.
Bro, this ain't yours. It would have been if it was.
For breakfast that morning, and I swung it as hard as I could. It connected with the side of the woman's head. with a
Yes,
sound
knock
I'll
her,
never
knock
forget.
her butt out.
She dropped to the floor.
Good.
I was shaking so badly I could barely hold the skillet. We stood there staring at the woman's body on our bedroom floor. I checked for a pulse, but couldn't feel anything.
Dang, she dead?
Blood was pooling around her head where I'd hit her.
She's smiling. Why the
Lila said we
animators
needed
do
to call the
that?
police. I nodded and reached for my phone. Right then, the woman jerked upright like she'd been pulled by strings and touched the side of her head where the blood was running down her face. My heart pounded in my chest
better get that
as I
knife
watched
in.
her lick her fingers clean before she dabbed them in blood again and smeared it across her cheeks like war paint. Suddenly, she started laughing. Then she bolted out of the bedroom, down the stairs. We heard the front door slam open. Lila and I didn't move for a whole minute as we tried to process what we'd seen.
Me neither.
Finally, I went downstairs. The front door was hanging open, snow blowing in. Bloody footprints led from our bedroom, down the stairs, and out onto the porch.
Hey, she didn't bleed that
And they
much.
disappeared
Like,
into the woods. Slammed the door and locked it. I checked every window and locked them all. But we kept hearing her laugh out in the woods. Sometimes it sounded close, like she was right outside. We didn't sleep.
okay, it's not
Just
that
sat in
funny,
the living room.
girl.
The sounds continued all night. When the sun finally came up, I opened the door carefully. The porch was covered in bloody handprints smeared everywhere. Some were
Blood
fresh,
loss? Like,
still red.
it's looking like a lot of
Car was covered in
blood.
handprints all over the windshield, the doors, and
No
the hood.
blood loss, no nothing.
She spent the night circling the cabin, touching everything. We ran to the car. I had to scrape the handprints off the window just to see well enough to drive. Called the police from a gas station 40 minutes away. They went up to the cabin that afternoon and found the blood on the bedroom floor and the handprints everywhere. The rental company said they'd never heard of anyone claiming to be a friend of the owner. Said nobody lived within 5 miles of that cabin. Lila needed 12 stitches in her arm. The scars still visible.
12?
We both took therapy.
That lady was probably homeless and got
We still
mad they
can't
were
go
in
anywhere
there.
remote or handle unexpected knocks on the door.
You see what it says? Subscribe. No, that thing is crazy. Yeah, that thing. Nah, I don't want to be them. I'm happy here. Their Christmas probably ruined because of those events. Sometimes those stories be based off true events, though. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I like watching horror stories. You're probably gonna do it again. I just hope you enjoyed them and that they shook your nerves a little bit. What am I doing? Anyways, hey, ho. Goodbye to the Zella channel.